All right, guys, we're back in the league today. This is the Champions Group part of the league, which means that we're in the top of 16 teams. We have 15 games remaining. There are 3 tiers of the league, and so we're the one that could theoretically win the whole thing. We are currently in first position because we keep all of our points. You can see us up there. We're up against Spurs, who are in 14th. So this should probably be a victory for us, I would say. Apologies to all Tottenham fans, but the Spurs are probably going to play like Spurs here today. But let's see what happens. Let's get this ball off of them to begin with and see if we can't turn around and get a goal and play better than we did against Juventus yesterday. The match yesterday wasn't exactly all that frustrating or disappointing. I just wish that we would have won. 1-1 draw is something that we can definitely build from, especially since Messi ended up with the man of the match with his 1 assist. He didn't even get the goal, but we would like to see a little bit more, and we want to see a victory today. Giggs loses possession right away, but it's Monseglio who wins that over to Casemiro down to Terry. Terry kicks it falsely first and then tries to pass to Giggs. It's a poor pass, and they have punished us for it, but their punishment consists of a shot far above and wide of the goal. There's a throw here for Spurs again about 3 minutes in, and let's see if we can get this ball off of them. And it's Figueroa who does. Monseglio to Eriksen, to Charlton, Casemiro, and Ronaldo. And that's why I love this tactic. In case you haven't been watching, it's a homegrown tactic, and that was Mason Mount with the shot, and it just doesn't quite go in. Mount actually was a player I was trying to get rid of, again, thinking about getting Messi, and it just didn't quite work out for him. If you missed how all that happened, you can go back and watch the transfer roundup that I did a couple of days ago and see all of the changes that we've made. This club is still not entirely made in my image, but we're getting, I think, a lot closer to where we want it to be. And we've had a couple of missteps as we've tried to put this together. But we're making progress a little bit at a time, but we're getting there. It's a difficult league. It's difficult to play at this level, game in and game out, and we've had a lot of them so far. Figueroa goes back and gets this ball over to Leviashin, to Terry, on to Giggs. So we go from the right side to the left, and here's Giggs coming up, knocks that forward for Mason Mount, ends up with Jong. Jong Uyong passes over to Charlton, over to Ronaldo, and that should have been a goal for Cristiano Ronaldo. It's knocked out for a corner. And then, of course, I just realized that when I changed players, I didn't change the corner tactics. So these corners are going to be pretty ugly. Monseglio, as you can see, is a little bit short, and we only had 2 players there instead of 3, so I don't know what's going on. You tell me. This is what happens when you don't pick players to actually take your corners. Part of that is because I just can't be bothered. Let's see what we can do if we can't get this ball off of them. And boy, that was very close. Jimmy Greaves had a header that just went above the top of the crossbar and out. We're not even 10 minutes into this match. We've already had a lot of highlights. Monseglio over to Figueroa. Figueroa takes this swap right side to Bobby Charlton, over to Casemiro. Pass down. Casemiro instead dekes his man out, passes to Ronaldo, over to Eriksen, and his header is also up above the crossbar and out. So we've had a pair of headers that were on target but a little bit too high, and so we must move forward. It's Jong with an excellent defensive play over to Mason Mount, Charlton over to Ronaldo. Jong Uyong probably not good enough for this team, but we got him anyway, and that was a good header. Of course, he's playing against Son. I think that Son is playing today for Spurs, but I haven't really looked and checked. Again, I can't really be bothered to worry about insignificant things like that. Jong with a good header, but these headers just haven't been going through so far today. We're going to have to do something, I think, a little bit more spectacular with the ball to score a goal. And we continue to watch the time tick away. Let's see if we can't get this ball off of them. That's what we want to do, and it's Greaves wide open, and how did that not go in? Figueroa knocks that one back, and it's Giggs who wins this in the end. Very good job by Ryan Giggs. Over looking for Bobby Charlton, and it's a poor pass, unfortunately. So we've won back possession. We've given it away very quickly. And we're about 25 minutes in this match, no score yet. Leviashin looking professional, which is good. I hope that he looks not so professional and more like a winner who's not going to give up any goals. That's what we want to see. There's Terry in the back, over to Monseglio. Figueroa. Casemiro now. Brings this up, moves over to Ronaldo, back to Figueroa. And ends up with Ronaldo again, over to Bobby Charlton. This looks pretty promising. Charlton, is he going to cross over to Casemiro, who takes the shot? That was a little bit ill-advised. And Monseglio ends up going back to win this over to Terry, onto Figueroa. And we have established possession again. It's up to Ronaldo now on the right side. Ronaldo forward to Mason Mount. There you go. And his shot is just poor. This is the reason why I was thinking about getting rid of him, because I've seen so many times. You can go back and watch the games and see it. I've seen him so many times with the shot, with the ball in a good position, just like that. And his shot is just absolutely horrible and ridiculous. So not particularly pleased with that attempt by Mason Mount, who's having a poor game, 6.4 average rating. Figueroa kicks over to Casemiro, back to Monseglio to Eriksson, back to Monseglio, Casemiro, up to Ronaldo, back to Figueroa. So we'll calm it down just a little bit. Casemiro with it, over to Mount, down to Eriksson. Eriksson forward for who? Bobby Charlton's got it. He's behind the defense, over to Jong, and the ball doesn't even get to him. Ball does not even get to him, and they have a break, and Monseglio with the big boot to save it. Jimmy Greaves had an eye for goal there. Here's Mason Mount over to Bobby Charlton. He's got Jong. He doesn't see him. It's over to Eriksson instead, who takes the shot, and that is grabbed out of the air by Jennings, so there is still no score. This was very well done by Charlton. He didn't see Jong, who was open for about a split second, but he did find Eriksson coming down the center. Eriksson, I think, has scored 1 or 2 goals for us so far, but probably does not offer the goal scoring that we need from the Segundo Volante role. There's 2 of them, by the way. Bobby Charlton, back to Ronaldo, over to Jong. Oh, and that should have been in. That should have been in, and yeah, that's a shame. It just got the angle wrong is what he did. Charlton here had a good pass backwards, and it was Ronaldo who saw him, and he just got that little bit of a touch with the forehead, and unfortunately the aim was just a little far off, and so it remains scoreless. Here's a throw from Ronaldo. This is, I think, more intense than the Champions League. Here's Mount with this now, and that's a shot from range, and that one hit off the side of the post, wrong side of the post. Bounced out the other way, not the way we wanted it, and so it's still 0-0, but we have had a flurry of shots on goal, and Ronaldo goes back to wins this to Casemiro, over to Eriksson, and it is knocked back. And we're kind of letting them have the ball here in midfield, which is a little bit frustrating. We'd like to see us get this ball off of them quickly, and it ends up going back to Son. He is on, and that's Figueroa with a good block that forces them into a corner. So let's see what we can do here to win this corner away, and we win it away, at least for the time being. About 8 minutes into the video, and Son claims that he was fouled. He probably was. As you've noticed here, you're not seeing a lot of penalties called at all at this level. Figueroa over to Terry, down to Jong, Terry, Casemiro, back to Monseglio, back to Terry. Good. Giggs looking over at Jong Uyong, and no, it's to Mount in the center. Over to Jong this time. Not sure what he's doing, trying to header from there. Charlton has the keeper out of position. And it was Casemiro, I think, from the back who shot that. Giggs now with it over to Jong Uyong, looking for Mount. And that was a little bit odd that we had the keeper so far out of position, but it's sort of like, getting the king to leave the back and chest. You think he's wide open, and then next thing you know, all these pieces come flying around at you. Look at this again. Jennings is out of position. Charlton does a good job, but you can't get the angle, and it was Casemiro with the shot. And unfortunately, there were 3 layers of men in front of him. So, we got the keeper out of position, which was what we wanted to do after rounding him, and here comes Jimmy Greaves. Monseglio wins it, and is back to Greaves again, and his shot is knocked out for a corner. So that's the way this is going to be here for these last 15 league matches. We just need to win. If we can win, even if it's ugly, 1-0, nobody wants to watch it. You grind your way through. If we can win, then we're good. If we can win, then we get the big money, we get the big payday, we get the big sponsorship money, and then we can start to pay off this 900 million euros in debt that we have accumulated. I'm not sure what fool would come into a team like Manchester United and put them so deeply in debt. Here's Lev Yashin with the ball over to Terry. Terry to Casemiro. Terry over to Monseglio. Monseglio, Casemiro. Figueroa now. Over to Cristiano Ronaldo. Charlton now. And, he's looking for Jong Uyong and can't quite find him. It's Giggs over here with Eriksson. And Eriksson takes a shot from range, and it's up and above everybody's head. So we only had 1 minute of added time there, and it felt like we had a century. Mason Mount not playing well. Jong Uyong not playing well. We do need to let them know something about the praise. Whatever I just said is probably an important thing to say. And I'm trying to think of who else we can put on here. I think we want to probably put Dennis Law on for Mason Mount. at the moment. I'm looking through just to make sure we don't have anybody else playing poorly. John Terry doesn't look like he's doing the best of jobs possible. Put Devici on, and then the other one I kind of wanted to take a look at, Philip Lahm is who I want to look at on the right side. Ronaldo, however, having a good game. I think we'll leave Ronaldo on for the time being. We'll look at Lahm in probably the next Juventus match. We went out and got Lahm because we wanted to make sure that we had enough guys to play in that right wing-back position. Giggs over to Devici. That's kind of the meme, by the way, over in the Mars FC save, which is that we have nobody who can play wingback in all of Taiwan. Eriksson with the shot, and that's deflected in for a goal. Beautiful. Jong Woo-young gets the assist, and I'm happy I kept him on, and it's Eriksson with the goal, and it's 1-0 for Manchester United, and that one comes as a surprise. I didn't think we were going to get anything out of this. So it was Jong Woo-young here bringing it up on the left side, and he got the cross in, and Eriksson knocks that one off of Jennings' foot, and it goes in. How about that? 1-0. It counts. Doesn't matter how beautiful or how ugly it is. If it goes in, it counts, and we'll take anything that counts here. 1-0. Now we have to hold on, and let's hope that we can hold on just a little bit longer and see what we can do here. We need to play defense, and they are running all over us. Giggs wins it back, loses it, wins it, and that's a shot by them from range, from beyond that circular point. And I'm perfectly happy letting them shoot from there if that's all they're going to do with it. So we're looking okay, and Dennis Law looks like he's in there and ready to fight and ready to play. So that's the role he's going to have. Here's Eriksson with the corner, looking for Monseglio, and he heads it. That was a pretty nice job. It was Devici who tried the second attempt at the header, and that almost went in. Ends up back here with Figueroa, heads it back to Yashin. Very, very wise play by Figueroa. Over to Monseglio now to Giggs. And he's dispossessed, but he wins it again over to Jong Woo-young. Jong Woo-young has a whole host of guys around him, ends up with Eriksson back to Devici to Monseglio, and that's Greaves. Jimmy Greaves saw him play that one nonchalantly, and then fortunately for us, he popped that one up and over the goal, trying to have a little fun there lobbing the keeper, and you know, this shot, was just mishit, I would say, by Greaves. But that was a pretty poor job there in the back. You can't just let him take the ball off of you like that. And it remains 1-0 for United. Mason Mount, not very happy, as you can see there. Here's Eriksson with a free kick, and that should have gone in. That's just barely up and over. One thing I'll say is that we don't have a whole lot of players, and what that means is that since we have so many matches, if you're having a poor match, there's not much I can do for you because I can take you off. But when I take you off, that means that we're going to have to put somebody on who I would normally start in 3 days, and that's what's going on. Here's Bobby Charlton over to Ronaldo. Ronaldo, right side. Still Ronaldo. Forward over for Law. That's a header that's up and over the goal, and that isn't troubling anybody at all. So it is. We got about 10 minutes left here in this match. See if we can hold on. Ronaldo, I thought it was a pretty good cross, but Law just not quite able to hit that right, and so that one ends up out for a goal kick. Here's Devici with the throw over to Monseglio. Monseglio back to Devici, over to Eriksson, back to Monseglio. Good. Passed forward for who? Charlton, Bobby Charlton, and it's taken away from him. He goes back and wins it again. What a pass to Ronaldo, back to Charlton. Wide open, and that is just barely knocked out. And there's Law finally in the end with the header. There were a couple of shots there that were saved by Jennings, and Law just sort of stood there and waited for his opportunity, and it did come. So this was Ronaldo back to Charlton again. There's shot number 1 off the crossbar. Jong Woo-young with the second one, and Law was right there in position. And if you play basketball, I know they always tell you got to make sure when you're getting down for the rebound that you hold that position, and that's exactly what Law did. He just held his position and waited, and there it was, and he knocked it in. Casemiro now over to Charlton again, and we're looking good forward. Casemiro, and we were looking good until that happened. It's Monseglio wins this over to Figueroa. Figueroa forward for Bobby Charlton. Here you go. Pass it, baby. And there's Law again. And Dennis Law has scored twice in the space of about 2 minutes. And that makes it 3-0 for Manchester United. We have this one won. We have this one won easily. You thought at the beginning this would be a close match, didn't you? Admit it. Figueroa passed this one forward for Charlton. And once we get in this position, you know what's going to happen. And there's just, there are 3 guys who can score there, and they're going to take turns, and they will play with each other. And, it's going to come no matter what. 3-0 now the score. Bobby Charlton, excellent job. Very good match for him. And to think that I was trying to sell him just a couple days ago, but don't tell anyone. That's our little secret. It's Greaves who can't get to this one. Eriksson just gets ahead on it, doesn't do very much. Casemiro wins this over to Lev Yashin. Just a couple of seconds left now. Yashin throws over to Figueroa to Casemiro. Bobby Charlton over to Ronaldo. Casemiro, Law. Up to Eriksson. Forward looking for Jong Woo-young. Can't find him. And, that's going to be the end of that attempt and that opportunity for us. And it's Davici in the back who ends up winning this over to Lev Yashin. He will knock this one forward. Bobby Charlton just can't get there in time. Doesn't really matter. We've won this one 3-0. It was a dominating win for us. 3.77 XG. We should have had a fourth, is what you're telling me. They had 1.12 XG, which shows you how good our defense really was. We were able to hold strong. Dennis Law with the 2 goals, which is not easy to get here. Talk to you again tomorrow, where we will have Pele, Maradona, and Messi out there together again, and the goals hopefully will start raining for us in Italy. We'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.